Hi, I'm Hadassah Jacobs. I am the Chief Content Strategist with ID3 Solutions. We are a strategic messaging think tank. We are not here to develop policy. We are not here just to write articles. We exist to create a strategic messaging system that undermines the Open Society Foundation and the messaging system of the left. I'm going to show you how we intend to do this and why. First of all, when we fight ideology, we have to fight strategically. We have to understand the ideology of our enemy, how it works, and the impact it has on society. Today, because all of the messaging is done via images and short text, today we have the opportunity to undermine messaging that is anti-democracy, anti-moral values, and anti-Israel by mirroring the messaging that is taking place from all the media outlets and different anti-Israel, anti-West organizations, and we're going to show you how we can do that. We have to fight with strategy. Now let's talk about the Open Society Foundation for a minute. This is the foundation that has built a network using numerous different governments and organizations, NGOs, all over the world. It is connected to financial systems such as the World Economic Forum and company. Now, this presentation does not go in depth into this particular network driven by the funding and connections of the Open Society Foundation. However, it will highlight some key factors when it comes to messaging. So let's look at the Open Society Foundation. Its operating budget is $1.4 billion. Every year they allocate over $100 million for strategic content development and messaging. That doesn't include what they pay journalists that are part of the International Journalism Consortium. These are independent journalists working with the Open Society Foundation all over the world. Now, I have here, they are active in over 120 countries. They fund anti-Israel groups, journalism, media, and government policies. Furthermore, they fund anti-moral value democracy policies. Anything that is connected to a moral value is the enemy of the Open Society Foundation, whether it is an organization, whether it is a business, whether it is an NGO, whether it is a government. If it has any kind of moral tentacle or foundation, it is considered a closed society. What are they focusing on? They are focusing on destabilizing Western societal norms, historical, moral, and cultural, undermining the U.S. constitutional framework, and delegitimizing Israel's historical, moral, and Zionist legacy and future. In 2007, George Soros said, "The main obstacle to stable and a just world order is the United States." Since that time, he has been putting every dime into the elections and into policy making to undermine a constitutional America. When it comes to Israel, it's important to understand that his plan was revealed in a 2016 hack of the Open Society Foundation emails. What it revealed was a three-pronged strategy. Number one, to accuse the Israeli government of state-sponsored racism. How would they do that? They would form a civil society organizations that can serve as rapid response opposition to Israel policies. Now, you are seeing that firsthand taking place in Israel concerning the new judicial reform legislation. But this is also taking place in France, in Germany, in Austria, and we can see the Open Society Foundation working even in the Ukraine, Czechoslovakia, Bulgaria. The list goes on how they have been creating these rapid response messaging tactics to oppose Israeli policies. And you definitely see this in every organization that is connected to the United Nations or to the European Union. Okay, number 3. The goal was to create an NGO environment in Washington and across Europe that would make criticism of Israel more politically palatable, to hold Israel accountable for its violations of international law. We are also seeing how effective this has been because you see that NGOs that are boycotting Israel right now over the judicial reform, the financial tactics that they are using to try and squeeze the Netanyahu government into backing off from any kind of judicial reform. What would we like to do? First of all, we have to understand the Open Society Foundation network, how it works. That is my area of expertise. I have been working on that since 2016, and I am very familiar how it works and how it strategically undermines governments, democracy as we know it, and Israel. In the Middle East, the Open Society Foundation hub is in Amman. We see the Open Society playing out in Africa, and they've just entered into the Singaporean market, and they are really causing havoc with laws in Singapore. Europe, they have existed for a very long time. And the United States, that's where the central hub is. Soros entered into the United States in 1956. Now, in the PowerPoint, the Zionist logo will move right on top of the Soros network. What we want to do is we want to mirror this network. We want to create a duplicate of their messaging system, and then we want to swap out the key words they use with alternative keywords that will create a different paradigm and ideological trend. So the impact of what we're discussing is we will be able to exponentially improve influence platforms in the nations and with partners. We will be able to provide a system that helps combat progressive liberal tactics. We also will be able to create a clearinghouse for propaganda messaging. We have a monitor system available to us that propaganda will flow through. We will be able to transform it and then move it back out. This will enable us to counter anti-Semitism on a whole different level. We also have the development of a global strategic AI media messaging system. Now, I wrote this last year in 2022, not realizing that in 2023, AI would become so integrated into core marketing platforms, and that's extremely advantageous for us. So this is one of the ways that we can help other organizations catch the enemy of the pro-Israel message and the enemy that is undermining conservative messaging. We would be able to, in real time, provide the intel and the proper messaging that an organization would need to counteract it. Also, to create defensive and offensive messaging campaigns and echo chambers to undermine, expose, and replace false narratives with truth. Now, creating a campaign, a messaging campaign, can be extremely lucrative and effective when we create a messaging that mirrors the algorithms, but it has a message that teaches, educates, and articulates the truth so that it undermines these false narratives and propaganda echo chambers. And then what we want to do is maximize soft power through direct pressure. And that is creating legal arguments that can be used by lawyers and organizations to put pressure on organizations like the BDS movement and many more. Okay, so let's see how this will work. What I'm showing you is the flow through the Open Society Foundation, the flow of messaging. Now, there are a few more elements in the Open Society Foundation because they work with hubs all over the world. However, the premise is almost exact. Here we have the think tank. Now, the think tank works as one cohesive unit. This is why we are not looking at an executive director, because it is the think tank that has to provide the content development, the papers, the books, the scripts, the editing of material, the publishing, the education, everything that has to do with content comes from the think tank. So you need the members of the think tank contributing to the platform and framework we develop. Now, the center of the Invisalign strategy, why do I use the word Invisalign? Invisalign is used specifically because we are mirroring the Open Society Foundation. You can't see what we're doing, and we don't want people to see what we're doing. We just want to do it. It's like when you get Invisalign braces for teeth, you can't see them, they're clear plastic, and you push them on the teeth. And when people wear them, it straightens the teeth. They don't even know they're there. They put them on at night. People can't really see them when they're smiling, if they're on during the day, but it's working. And this is what we're creating, an integrated workflow system that just works. And people don't even know what's going on. It just works. It works with algorithms. It works with AI. The messages get disseminated and picked up by different media outlets, different social media platforms, over and over again throughout the messaging world. The center of the think tank is the marketing system. Today, the shift of a business from the old paradigm to where marketing becomes the center of their business is vital for businesses to be able to navigate between the brick and mortar and the online space. And for businesses that are all online, this is even more center stage. So much so for a think tank. We cannot think the way we used to. We have to change ideological trends. We have to create different trajectories. We have to undermine the underminer. So in this case, marketing becomes central. Everything flows into and out of it. Our content flows into it, and all of this flows into it, and then it flows out. So when we talk about a marketing framework and structure, this is where we create the strategic plan of how we are going to influence our target audience. Then we have branding, and we want to brand in general so that anytime our colors, our voice, text, printed and audio, our videos. Everything has to have the same branding. Campaigns can have different branding because it's specific to a campaign, but that branding will connect to the general branding. Branding is your colors, your textures, your smells, your touch. It's everything that identifies you as the think tank or the organization that is behind the messaging. Then you have the website and community development. Now, again, things have drastically shifted in the last decade. Community was an offshoot. You had the business, you had the marketing over here, and the development of community, maybe a Facebook group or an Instagram group, if at all. However, today, if you don't develop community, you cannot move messaging. So your community development and your marketing are biachad. They are together. Then everything else goes out like this. And then it comes in and out. So your website, that is your identity as far as where people go. That's your static identity. Community is what you built. And you can do it through mastermind classes, educational courses, online, offline, live, and you can build community through dialogue. Then social media. We have to cover all the social media platforms with the messaging. So you have to build the branding and interlink all of these social media platforms together. Then, of course, promote all of that with the people that are driving different social media trends. You want to partner up, create affiliates, and create toolkits to help people help you move a message. And to do that, part of messaging is static, audio, and a lot of it is video. So video content creation, media production is center stage, and it flows into and out of the marketing framework. So you have the video production, you have the podcast production, you have online course creation, and digital media editing. We would not start with online course creation. We would start with video shorts by building the YouTube channel and also our main social media channels. We would create video shorts with counter messaging that undermines the propaganda echo chamber feeds. Also, we're looking at an actual radio station that would be online. It would operate very similar to a podcast. However, we would be able to put our messaging on 24/7 and have it disseminated through the world that way. Podcast production, very important. That's where we talk about issues that are relative and very pertinent to society. And then in probably year 3, we'd start with building the educational platform and system. That is all connected to the website platform that we have, which is Kajabi. Then AI applications. This is an app and the actual system that will take in the content. It will digest it and repurpose it with a different message that completely nulls and annihilates the message that is being propagated. And then it will spit out a new feed, a new line of pro-Israel, pro-conservative, pro-democracy messaging. Through the use of AI applications, we are creating an AI rapid response system and automation. This is where the bulk of the money in year 2 and 3 goes. As I said, AI was not center stage. So when I got quotes on how much it would take to create this platform, it was approximately $3 million. Now, this platform would drive messaging on a global scale and interconnect with organizations all over the world. It also can be used to be a hub for strategic messaging, and organizations can pay to use this messaging system once it's completed, especially Jewish and conservative organizations. Lastly, one of the most important areas of development in conjunction with the AI is our partnerships. So ultimately, we would need a full-time person working specifically in building these partnerships. It will take about a year to actually build the framework. And once the framework is ready and we've done some beta testing, then these partners will work with us to disseminate messages. When we talk about partners, we're not just talking about our social media friends. We're talking about different kind of government organizations. The Open Society Foundation is attacking and trying to undermine them. We're looking at organizations, businesses, governments, NGOs, and the like that really are tired of being attacked by the Open Society Foundation, their bird dogging, their intimidation, the messaging to drive their agendas. And then, of course, we would be creating what's called affiliate marketing. That's for products, for our books, for the different courses. Affiliate marketing creates incentives for people to disseminate our product, and then affiliate tools. The more tools you give an affiliate, the more they work with you. What kind of tools are we're talking about? Email campaigns, product flyers, social media posts they can post on their social media platforms. We provide all of that. That's part of that marketing system. This is where you develop all of the posts that drive campaigns. These posts are actually pre-done. They're set in an automated system, so they're going out all the time. And that's the face. Other messaging is going out subliminally under the surface. And that's how we are turning the tide of how people are viewing particular issues and agendas. This is an integrated AI workflow system. It links with the ID3 solutions so we can create AI rapid response. We can catch anti-messaging right away and create another feed immediately to counter that. This is the response system and marketing system. They all work together to create this workflow system. AI systems designed to identify, flag, and rewrite false social narratives and directives of the Open Society Foundation and partners, media output to undermine their propaganda. Also, we would like to create what's called a Twitter bot, a Zionist Twitter bot. This bot, every single day, it would send out messages, very cute, very adorable, about the future vision of Israel, the vision of what a conservative government looks like. It would send out tour messages, innovation highlights of what's happening in the country of Israel, Israeli history to combat apartheid and different issues that we face, and different events that are taking place. The Twitter bot would be marketed to organizations, members, Israelis, Angos. And again, it is AI driven. It's an automated social media system that recognizes anti-Israel ideology and simultaneously undermines it. It's a very cute bot that can be connected to different websites and different social media feeds. So this is our flow, the research, this is the think tank, our framework, this is the marketing, our playbook, which is what's going to drive us for the next 1, 3, 5, and 7 years. and our partnership collaboration, then the further considerations once we finish phase 1. I think that covers how the system would be developed and what it will be able to do when it is developed. So this is Adasa. I want to thank you for taking the time to watch this presentation, and I look forward to any questions that you may have.